Hello, everybody. This is going to be a quick demo on how to get going on the watermelons extension. So after you've cloned your repo and imported your project, you should find a source folder. Inside that folder, you will find a package for each of the extensions, including the watermelons extension. In that package, you'll find watermelons file where you're going to be writing your code, and the watermelons test suite, which will run all the things where we try to test it. So if I run this as a JUnit test, as you might imagine, not a lot of things are going to be working because we just started. And you see the top one of these pair count tests, you'll find everybody's failing there. All of these guys are failing. And everybody's doing this thing they're reporting. If you look inside, you look, oh, not yet implemented. And so one of the things you can do is double click on this. It'll take you to the line where it's gone wrong. It's like somewhere in here, it's not an assertion error. It's somewhere in here there was an error. And if I double click on this line, it'll take me there. If I double click here, it'll take me to the line inside of watermelons that's gone wrong. As you see here, we're supposed to do this pair count situation where we're trying to figure out how many different pairs we need for an array of this length, right? And so if I just said, well, I don't know what it's going to be, let's return array length, that is not the answer, obviously. But if I do that and I run the test suite again, right? You'll see it's going to have a slightly different feel here. It's going to be like, oh, well, I'm not throwing this exception anymore. But now I expected this. You didn't throw an exception inside of here, but the answer you got back was not what I expected. I expected 1, but it was, but the answer we returned was 2, because if you pass in an array of length 2, guess what? It has 1 pair in it. And look, we actually passed 3. That's nice. And so, which makes sense. There are 3 pairs inside of a length of 3, but we're not passing much else. So imagine you build this correctly. This is trying to figure out for a length of an array how many different pairs there are, and then we talked about that. You're going to then do all pair sums. The first thing you might do is use this to figure out how long of an array you're going to return. That's going to return for these weights, all the different pairs of weights that it could exist in there. We've provided a couple of methods for you: to sorted copy and equals ignoring order. Those will be useful in here in the bottom, where you're going to find the weights of 5 watermelons. As you might imagine, here's a little situation where just a little clue. For 5 watermelons, the answer is 10. You're going to have to build your method up here to handle any arbitrary thing, because we want to make this generally useful. But down here, it's a little clue: 5 should be 10. We'll throw an illegal argument exception if that's the case, so you don't have to worry about it when you're building your program. As is often the case in a lot of these programs, I have built the correct version and committed it to Git, and so I can revert this out. I will close everything up, as you saw, so as not to rob anybody of the joy of solving this problem. But now with the completely working version, if I run this, it should pass all the tests. Now, these pair sums can kind of take a while sometimes. That's not a problem if it takes a while. But it blazes right through these, and then finding the weights can sometimes be computationally expensive. But either way, you should be able to get through and get it all working. And so hopefully this extension will go well. If you have problems, definitely reach out to us. We'll be here to help.